In this video, we're going to look at how we do our assignment so that we can get full access to 3DPrinterOS. You should have watched the previous videos on how to set up Cura, and you should have watched the other video that will create a 3DPrinterOS account for you. Click on the Printers tab. You'll only have access to a few of the printers. That's because you haven't done the assignment yet and we haven't given you full printing access. To get full printing access, you need to do your assignment. Let's do that together. So, we want you to slice, using Cura, the first letter of your unikey. You could model it, or I have a little bit of a shortcut. This website Thingiverse, someone might have already created exactly what I'm looking for. I'm going to type in letter S. My unikey begins with an S. And yes, someone's already created a letter S. Try and go with one of these thicker letters. These thinner ones aren't ideal. So let's go with a thick S here. Download all files. Extracting it. Now, if we go into Cura, you can see that we have the Prepares tab, Preview, and Monitor. We're going to work left to right. First of all, we prepare something by opening it and then choosing the printer, and we'll go through all these steps. Opening that S. Where is my S? Downloads, files. Here's the S, and that's looking good. If I click on the S, you can see that these buttons here become highlighted. We can move, or you could press T, and that would, or T for transform, would move it. Scaling, ideally you would have scaled it before you bring it in, but you could. So I'm going to reset that. And rotate, this gives us this gumball and we can rotate things around. Also, what's useful is if we select a face, we can put it flat onto the platform. What we want is a nice flat surface area to put onto the platform to stick it down. Alright, next we would choose what type of printer that we want to use. Most of our printers are Ultimaker 2+, so you've got a better chance of printing if you can put it on one of the 2+. But every now and then all of the 2+ are busy and you might want to put it on a 2+ extended. You'll see that when I choose the 2+ extended, we get a bigger envelope for printing on. Okay, so I'm going to choose a 2+ for this one. And next, we want to choose the type of material and nozzle size. We only ever print in PLA, so you won't need to change that. But you might need to change the nozzle size here. You know from the previous video that some of our nozzles are 0.4 and some of them are 0.6, and that depends on the profile. You'll find that profile by going over to this next tab. Under Custom, under Profile, you'll find the high, medium, and draft quality profiles that you downloaded and imported into Cura. Let's start off with this one, the high quality one. It has an N04, so it needs a nozzle with a 0.4 nozzle. So N04, and here, good, it's a 0.4 nozzle. These two are matching, so I'm ready to slice. Once you've sliced it, we can see how long it's going to take. If we click on the preview button, we now have moved from the prepare over here to the preview, and we can see layer by layer, using this slider, how our object is going to be printed. I like to change this to line type, and you can see here in blue these are helpers that are also being printed, and they help it print successfully. So that might be a brim, which is what we have here, or it might also be support, which you'll need to remove with a pair of pliers. Now it looks like the first layer is sticking down really nice and flat, so this is probably going to print really nicely. I'm happy with that, so I'm ready to upload to 3DPrinterOS. Yours might say save to file. If you click on this button here, you can change it to upload to 3DPrinterOS. Click on that, and you'll need to log in. Now, this is where the naming convention comes in. We have already a UM2, which stands for an Ultimaker 2. If you're using the extended, it would be UM2E. After that underscore, this is where we're going to type in the profile name of what we printed. So it's an N04 underscore 015, and I'm just going to shortcut it and put LH for layer height. And then after that, you can call it whatever you want. Now, under here we have single file. This is basically the root directory. It can become very messy, so I like to put things into project files, which are like subdirectories, so that we know who you are. If you could call this assignment your unikey. And now we're ready to upload. In this window, the really only useful buttons are Go to Cloud and Close. We don't have an industrial printer, and that's not very useful. Let's go to Cloud. Okay, here under My Files, we can't see our file yet because it's under the Projects tab. And here's that project that I created. And I can see that it's going to cost $2.41 to print, how long it's going to take. And if I wanted to change the name of it, I could click on Edit here and change the name if I got something wrong. I'm also able to preview it. Under the preview, I can see layer by layer what it's doing, and I can also check my layer height if I wanted to. Here, it looks like it's 0.15 layer height. So the name, 0.15 layer height here is correct. Alright, now we just need to do this for the other profiles. I'm going to quickly do that. I always like to double check before I hit slice that the profile's nozzle is corresponding with the nozzle I have up here. It's easy to have that wrong, and it can cause problems and cost you more. So just double check that those two are the same before you hit slice. Okay, now going back to my files, my projects, here you can see some other of my projects. You all have docs that just comes with the program. But under the assignment, we want to see something like this. I'll let you in on a secret. This is how I mark it. What I'm looking for is to make sure that the lowest quality one, which should take the least amount of time, costs the least. And then the medium one should cost in somewhere in the middle, and the highest quality one should cost the most. I'm also looking to make sure that when I float over this, that the extruded temperature is 200 degrees and we have a bed temperature. If those are 0, you haven't followed the steps properly in setting up Cura. I'm also looking to make sure that the file names are correct. They should all tell me what printer they should be sent on. So when I do go to print it, let's say I print this one, I know that this is looking for an N06 machine. So I could put it on orange because it has a nozzle with a 0.6 machine, but I couldn't put it on this machine because it's got a 0.4 nozzle, and that could damage it. So I could queue this one. However, I also need to have more than $1 on my account. Over here you can see I have $1 and it's costing me $1.52. To put money on your account, you can use OneStop, email us the receipt, and we can top up your balance. Now, once you're sure that you've done your assignment correctly, you should then share it with ADP email. So click on this share button and type in the adp.dmath3dprints@sydney.edu.au email address. Click the share button, and then we'll be able to mark your assignment and give you full access to 3DPrinterOS if you get 100%. Thank you.